The rooftop door was hard to push. The wind was stronger than before. The city underneath us burned with signs and windows more and more. We used to come up here to breathe above the noise, above the street, and dream of lives too large for fear, with frozen hands and tired feet. We thought the stars belonged to us somehow, but they were always too far above us now. On the apartment rooftop in February, I learned how love can tremble and let go. The sky was wide, the world was temporary, and your tears shine brighter than the snow. You said my name as if it hurt to say. I held your coat and watched you fade away. On the apartment rooftop in February, the winter kept the truth we didn't know. A plastic chair, an empty can, a shoe print filling up with white. So many ordinary things can witness the collapse of life. You asked me if I'd hate you then. I said I never could, not you. But some answers break while being said, and mine was already breaking through. The city hung below our shaking breath, and in that sound we heard the shape of death. On the apartment rooftop in February, I learned how love can tremble and let go. The sky was wide, the world was temporary, and your tears shine brighter than the snow. You said my name as if it hurt to say. I held your coat and watched you fade away. On the apartment rooftop in February, the winter kept the truth we didn't know. If I could stand there once again, I would not ask the night for mercy. I would just hold your freezing hands and tell the truth more clearly, that even broken love is love, that even endings leave a flame, that I would carry that cold sky forever with your name. On the apartment rooftop in February, I lost the world and found my grief. The wind was cruel, the moon was blurry, and nothing in my chest was brief. You said goodbye, but part of you remains in roofs and stars in all the winter rains. On the apartment rooftop in February, I learned that love survives its pain. The rooftop door was hard to close, as if the night still wanted more. I walked downstairs into the dark, but left my heart upon that floor.
The winter sea was iron blue. The waves came in like heavy breath. The shore was empty except for me, and every thought I had of death, not of my body but of us, of all the things that used to live in laughter, touch, and future plans, in all the trust we used to give. The gulls flew low, the sky was hard and gray, and all the wind kept taking words away. Winter sea, empty shore, tell me what love is for. If it can rise like a tide, then leave me here wanting more. I call your name, the waves return, but not your voice, not your concern. Winter sea, empty shore, I have never known loss before. Your footprints would have vanished fast. The sand was dark, the foam was white. I tried to picture you with me, arms folded tight against the night. We came here once in warmer times and wrote our names where water reached. I thought the sea would guard that line, but time erases every beach. And still I stand where memory meets the cold. A man with nothing but a heart too full to hold. Winter sea, empty shore, tell me what love is for. If it can rise like a tide, then leave me here wanting more. I call your name, the waves return, but not your voice, not your concern. Winter sea, empty shore, I have never known loss before. If I walk far enough, will I reach the day before? Will I find us in the sunlight, whole and certain on this shore? Or is the ocean only honest because it never tries to stay? Because it comes and goes forever and still means what the waves say. Winter sea, empty shore, I know what love is for. To break us open to the sky, to make us human to the core. I call your name, the wind takes hold and gives it back in water cold. Winter sea, empty shore, I will love you even more. The winter sea was iron blue, the waves came in, the daylight thinned, and though the shore was empty too, your leaving still was everywhere within. January came too quietly. No fireworks, no miracle sign, just the slow collapse of holidays and the truth that you were no longer mine. The calendar looked sharp and new, but everything in me felt old. A year can turn, a world can move, still a heart can stay in cold. I thought the dawn would make it easier somehow, but morning only shows how much I miss you now. This is January without you, a room of light with all the warmth erased, a sky of pale and unforgiving blue, a life still learning how to face the hours you no longer feel, the silence hanging by the window pane. This is January without you, and every breath comes out like pain. I folded up your sweater slow and put it in the lowest drawer, like if I hid enough of you, I might not hurt like this anymore. But grief is smarter than my hands. It finds me in the smallest things, in songs, in cups, in winter plans, in all the ache the season brings. I thought the year would carry me ahead, but I am still where you last touched my hand. This is January without you, a room of light with all the warmth erased, a sky of pale and unforgiving blue, a life still learning how to face the hours you no longer fill, the silence hanging by the window pane. This is January without you, and every breath comes out like my pain. Tell me how the earth keeps turning when my world forgot to move. Tell me how the snow keeps falling when it knows what we went through. Tell me why the heart remembers what the mind begs it to lose. Tell me how to live a winter that no longer leads to you. This is January without you, but still I speak to shadows in the hall. Still I reach across the bed at dawn. Still I hear your footsteps when they never fall. And maybe one day I will heal like branches waiting for the springtime rain. But this is January without you, and for now There is a street I cannot cross without becoming someone else. The kind of person made of pause, the kind who talks to empty air. We walked there once beneath the snow, hands in our pockets closed, but still so many things we did not know, so many truths we did not feel. You looked at me as if your heart was full, and I looked back too scared to ask for more. On the street where we said nothing, everything was there. All the love we could have spoken, hanging in the air. Every falling flake between us knew before we knew that silence can become a memory, and memory can become you. A bakery on the corner glowed, a bus breathed steam into the night. Somebody sang through half-closed doors, a song too sad to be polite. You asked me if I felt the cold. I said a little, not too much, but what I meant was I was lost inside the almost of your touch. And all the snow kept settling on our sleeves like little ghosts of words we could not speak. On the street where we said nothing, everything was there. All the love we could have spoken, hanging in the air. Every falling flake between us knew before we knew that silence can become a memory, and memory can become you. Now every winter evening finds me walking there again, listening for the sentence that never reached the end. And though the road is ordinary, it shines like something true, because that street is where I lost the chance to tell you. On the street where we said nothing, I still hear your breath, still see your eyes avoiding mine, still feel what silence meant. Every falling year between us turns the old world blue, and all my quiet keeps becoming a longer road to you. There is a street I cannot cross without the snow beginning again, and there are words I never said that still live there beneath my skin. Day the snow fell sideways, nothing in the world stood straight. The wind kept dragging all the white across the roads and through the gates. You came to see me one last time, your hair blown wild, your eyes unsure, and all the storm around our coats felt easier than what was yours. The weather raged, what we could not begin, and all that white made shadows of our skin. On the day the snow fell sideways, you turned your heart away from mine, not with anger, not with cruelty, but with a sorrow just as wide. And I have lived through many winters, but none as sharp or true as the day the snow fell sideways, and I lost the world in you. The traffic lights changed green to red, the shops were shutting one by one. A paper cup rolled down the curb like it was trying hard to run. You said you wished things had been different. I said I knew and looked below, because some pain is far too bright to meet directly in the snow. Your voice was small, the storm was huge and wild, and still your whisper broke me like a child. On the day the snow fell sideways, you turned your heart away from mine, not with anger, not with cruelty, but with a sorrow just as wide. And I have lived through many winters, but none as sharp or true as the day the snow fell sideways, and I lost the world in you. Now when the weather bends like that and wind throws wide across the road, I stop and let the memory unpack its old familiar load. Because grief has its own climate, its own season in the chest, and yours began that sideways day and never fully left. On the day the snow fell sideways, the city learned my breaking sound. Cars moved on and lights kept burning, but all my hope was flowing down. And I have lived through many winters, still none divide me through like the day the snow fell sideways, and all my love became for you. The day the snow fell sideways, nothing in the world stood straight. Not the trees, not the signs, not my heart. Since that day.
If spring misses the train again and winter stays a little more, will you come back with thawing hands and stand once more outside my door? I know the years have changed our names, I know the city changed its skin, but somewhere under all this frost, the old roads still remember him, the man I was when you still looked my way, still waits beneath the snow of every day. If spring misses the train, will you stay one season more? Will you hear my heart knocking softly through the door? I have kept the light, I have kept the room, I have kept a place for you in all this endless bloomless cold. If spring misses the train, maybe love won't have to go. The florist on the corner said the buds are late this year again. I smiled as if that meant nothing, but felt it deep beneath my skin. Because delay can look like hope to hearts that never learn release. And I have made a faith of waiting, though it never gave me peace. Still every dawn I check the melting eaves, as if the sky might change what I believe. If spring misses the train, will you stay one season more? Will you hear my heart knocking softly through the door? I have kept the light, I have kept the room, I have kept a place for you in all this endless bloomless cold. If spring misses the train, maybe love won't have to go. But if the thaw arrives without you, if birds return and I remain, then I will learn that even sunlight cannot rewrite this kind of pain. And still I'll thank the winter for the way it let me know that losing you did not stop love, it only gave it snow. If spring misses the train, I will still be standing here, not because I cannot change, but because you matter here. I have kept the light, I have kept the truth, I have kept the best of you through all the bitter winds that blow. If spring misses the train, tell it I still love you so. The tracks are quiet, the air is thin, the branches wait, the thaw begins. And in that hour between snow and rain, I whisper low, missed the train. last train left at 12:30 and took the warmth of the platform too. I stood there talking to myself as if the cold could carry me to you.
Your city sleeps 100 miles away, under another moon, another light. But in my chest your footsteps still remain, like echoes pacing through a winter night.
The rays keep shining like they know where love has been, and I keep waiting for a train that won't come in. On the last train in winter, I send my heart away, wrapped in all the words I was too afraid to say. If you ever hear the whistle cutting through the dark, know it is my lonely soul still trying to find your heart.
On the last train in winter, I loved you all the same.
The vending machine glowed green and gold, a tiny summer in the freezing air. An old man watched the night grow old, like he had learned that no one waits forever.
I bought 2 coffees out of habit still, and drank them slowly, both by myself. Because some losses are a kind of will, a way of keeping pain upon the shelf.
The rails keep singing under all this frozen steel, and every distance only tells me what is real. On the last train in winter, I send my heart away, wrapped in all the words I was too afraid to say. If you ever hear the whistle cutting through the dark, know it is my lonely soul still trying to find your heart. On the last train in winter, I loved you all the same. Maybe somewhere you are standing by a window full of wine, feeling something in the silence you cannot name tonight. Maybe love is just a station where we almost arrive. Maybe I am still the traveler you left behind alive. On the last train in winter, my tears became the rain, running down the glass like they knew your name. If you ever dream of someone calling through the dark, it is me across the distance, still carrying your spark. On the last train in winter, I loved you past the pain.
The tracks went on where I could not. The stars looked down and did not move, and all the night kept saying soft, some people leave, but love stays true. Do not ask the night for mercy. I do not ask the years to bend. I only ask this winter slowly not to take what love has been. Because your name still warms the silence, because your smile still lights the glass, because some people leave your daylight but never really leave your path. And every flake that settles on the ground feels like a vow that still has not burned out. I will love you until the last snow melts, until the rivers learn to carry all the words I never said, until tops lose their white, until the dawn forgives the night, until my lonely hands forget the shape of yours in winter light. I will love you until the last snow melts. I have walked through streets of December. I have watched the station lights grow dim. I have kept your letters in a drawer, like fragile saints with folded limbs. And even when the world grew older, even when my mirrors changed my face, somewhere in the cold behind my breathing, your memory kept its place. I do not need a miracle or sign. I only need this truth to still be mine. I will love you until the last snow melts, until the rivers learn to carry all the words I never said, until the rooftops lose their white, until the dawn forgives the night, until my lonely hands forget if every branch turns green above me, and still I whisper your name, then let it be no shame to love what time could never fully take. Let it be human, let it be true, to break and still not break. I will love you until the last snow melts, until the mountains lose their winter, until the sea forgets itself, until this heart no longer hears your echo moving through the years, until the final flake dissolves and all the tears I never held. I will love you until the last snow melts. So let the cold come, let the white fall, let the long night cover it all. I will remain here, softly, faithfully, until the last snow melts from me.
Your scarf is hanging on my door, blue like the evening after snow. I should have packed it up before, but some goodbyes are slow to go. The room still holds a little heat from all the winters you were here. Your slippers waiting by the feet of all the words we did not hear. How can a thread still keep a whole heart tight? How can your touch still live where time has died? Your scarf on my door, your voice in the hall, your name in the air, like it never left at all. I know you are gone, I know this is true, but winter keeps opening the old road to you, and I stand in the cold with nothing to do but love what remains of me and of you. I wore it once when I was deep and walked the neighborhood alone. The wind was harsh, the street was steep, the city felt like carved out stone. But in that wool there stayed a trace of perfumed tears and softer years. And suddenly the empty space was full again with all our fears. I almost turned to tell you of the snow. I almost smiled like you were there to know. Your scarf on my door, your voice in the hall, your name in the air, like it never left at all. I know you are gone, I know this is true, but winter keeps opening the old road to you. And I stand in the cold with nothing to do but love what remains of me and of you. If I return it now, to whom would I explain that cloth can be a memory and memory can be pain? If I keep holding on, will I ever become free? Or is this how love survives, in what it leaves with me? Your scarf on my door still moves when winds arrive, as if your hand were reaching back to prove we were alive. I know you are gone, but part of you stays in winter's breath in these unfinished days. So I stand in the cold and let the silence through, still wrapped in what remains of me and of you. Blue like the evening after snow, your scarf is hanging on my door. And though I know I should let go, my heart is not that brave before. Snow on the bus stop bench, covered where we used to sit. We used to wait for routes and dreams and laugh at how the cold would bite. You always leaned your head on me like winter had no sharper edge. And I believe that simple scene could be enough for all our lives. Who knew a bench could hold so much of us? Who knew one stop could be the end of life? Snow on the bus stop bench, white on the words we cried.
turns, then he leaves. Faces come and go like smoke. A little girl waves from the seat. Her mother wraps her in a coat. And all at once I see us there, young enough to trust the snow, young enough to think that love would never ask us both to go. I hear your laugh in every breaking wheel. I see your eyes in all the headlights gleam. Snow on the bus stop bench, white on the words we carved, white on the place where your hand once lay close to my frozen heart. I stand where we used to stay and watch the city move right through. Everyone has somewhere to go, but all my roads lead back to you. If I had known that ordinary nights become the ones you mourn, I would have held that moment longer. I would have kissed your hands till dawn. But life was just a passing bus, and we were sure we'd meet again. Now winter keeps your memory warm with snow on the old bus stop bench. Snow on the bus stop bench still falls where love began, still paints our small forever in a language I can understand. And though the route has changed, and though the years are new, everyone has somewhere to go, but all my roads lead back to you. The bus arrives, the doors unfold. I do not move, I stay with the cold, because for one more night this bench is true. And in the snow I sit with you. Under the red street lamp, the snow looked almost pink, like all the things the night can do to make a lonely person think. You stood there in your dark long coat, a suitcase at your side, not running, not exactly leaving, but already not mine. The traffic moved like blood beneath the light, and all the world fell paused for our goodbye. Under the red street lamp I watched forever end, not with thunder, not with anger, just with two exhausted friends. And the snow kept falling softly, like it pitied what we'd done. Under the red street lamp I lost you one by one. First your hand slipped from my sleeve, then your eyes moved from my face. Then all the little future things began to vanish without trace. A bus passed by and shook the air. The lamp above us hummed and swayed. I wanted one impossible thing, to freeze the moment where you stayed. But winter knows no bargain with the heart. It takes its time and still it pulls apart. Under the red street lamp I watched forever end. Not with thunder, not with anger, just with two exhausted friends. And the snow kept falling softly, like it pitied what we'd done. Under the red street lamp I lost you one by one. Now every night with painted light and drifting flakes above the road becomes a doorway back to then, becomes a memory I still hold. And though I know the years must move, some hours refuse to die. That street lamp burns inside my chest, a witness to goodbye. Under the red street lamp I still see your tired eyes, still hear the sound your suitcase made as it rolled across my life. And the snow keeps falling softly each winter when it's done. Under the red street lamp I lose you one by one. The light was red, the night was white. You walked away, I stayed with the light.
We walk beside the frozen lake, the world so still it seemed unreal. Every branch was made of ink, every breath was something we could feel. You said the surface looked like glass, like time itself had stopped to dream. I said I hope that if this passed, you'd still remember loving me. You smiled and said some things outlast the cold, but even then your hands were hard to hold. When the lake turned glass, so did my heart, clear enough to break, too cold to fall apart. You were standing there and already far, like a fading light, like a winter star. When the lake turned glass, I knew from your eyes some love stayed beautiful, only as goodbye. The ducks had gone, the reeds were still. The hills were white from edge to edge, and all the quiet on that hill felt like a promise at the ledge. I wanted them to stop the wind, to keep your name inside my coat, to hold that afternoon within the fragile shell of what we spoke. But snow keeps falling even when hearts refuse, and love keeps ending even when neither one can choose. When the lake turned glass, so did my heart, clear enough to break, too cold to fall apart. You were standing there and already fall like a fading light, like a winter star. When the lake turned glass, I knew from your eyes some love stayed beautiful, only as goodbye. Now every winter I return to where the shore becomes the sky, and see us in the silver blur of memory and white. I hear your voice like footsteps under snow, soft and far, and impossible to hold. When the lake turned glass, so did my soul, a mirror full of you, a wound the years can't close. You were standing there, and I still am, in the hour we lost what we could not understand. When the lake turned glass, the whole world knew some loves become forever by becoming untrue. The lake is thawed by spring again, but not the place you left in me. Some winters end upon the earth, not in the heart that still can see. I wrote a postcard to myself from the coldest year I knew. The picture on the front was white, the message on the back was you. I said the nights were hard but clear, the stars looked close enough to break, and every road in every town still somehow bent your way. I stamped it with a memory in frost and mailed it through the country of the lost. A postcard from the coldest year arrived with your invisible name. No matter how far time has moved, my heart still opens just the same. The ink was faded, but the pain was clear. The paper thin, the silence strong. A postcard from the coldest year to tell me I have loved you long. I wrote about the small cafe where we escaped the evening snow. How you warmed your hands around the cup and smiled before you had to go. I wrote about the station clock, the scarf, the bench, the bitter air. How ordinary things became more holy after you weren't there. And every line became a winter prayer, a way to prove that you were once right there. A postcard from the coldest year arrived with your invisible name. No matter how far time has moved, my heart still opens just the same. The ink was faded, but the pain was clear. The paper thin, the silence strong. A postcard from the coldest year to tell me I have loved you long. If I could write you now, what would I even say? That I survived the blizzards, but still not your leaving day. That some part of me grew older and some part stayed behind, addressed forever to your door with no return to find. A postcard from the coldest year, still waiting in my drawer tonight. Its corners worn, its message true, its grief still sharp in winter light. The ink may fade, the years may veer, but some loves do not move along. A postcard from the coldest year to tell me I still love you long. The picture on the front was white, the message on the back was you. And all these years I read it still, as if love might answer too.
There is a piano in the cold room, missing keys but still in tune. Dust across the wooden surface, winter light across the noon. You used to play the simplest melodies like they were secrets heaven knew. And every note would fill the house with all the softness that was you. Now silence sits where music used to be, and every chord remembers more than me. The piano in the courtroom still knows your hands by heart, still waits for you in winter light, still breaks me in the dark. If I press these keys, will you return in song, or will the sound just prove again that you have been gone too long? I try to play the piece you love, but every measure fell too wide. My fingers found the notes enough, but not the way you made them shine. 'Cause music isn't only sound, it's all the life behind the tone. And since you left this house of ours, even the air has changed its home. I hear your voice between the minor lines, a ghost of warmth that time cannot unwind. The piano in the courtroom still knows your hands by heart, still waits for you in winter light, still breaks me in the dark. If I press these keys, will you return in song, or will the sound just prove again that you have been gone too long? Maybe love is like a melody we never truly own. We only hold it for a while, then watch it travel on. But if one note can keep you near, then let this whole house ring until the cold room blooms again with every little thing. The piano in the courtroom still sings your name to me, still turns the frost upon the glass into a memory. If I press these keys, I almost see your smile, and for one traveling winter breath, you stay with me a while. There is a piano in the cold room, and tonight I leave the lid open wide. So if your spirit passes through, it will know where I still hide. I found your letter in the drawer tonight, folded between the bills
thousand faded bills of time. The papers smell like dust in quiet light, like things we leave behind but never truly hide. You wrote my name the way the winter writes on every window pane before the morning comes. Slow and careful, soft and full of white, as if even goodbye could still sound like love. I read each line like it was a road back home, but every word only proved that you were gone. December wrote your name across my heart in silver air and lonely midnight blue, and no matter how I try to pull apart, the life I built still has the shape of you. I keep your letter like a final flame, pressed against a season made of frost. And every year when winter comes again, I count what stayed and all that we have lost. You said the cold was never just the weather, it was the distance growing quietly between two people trying hard to stay together, while breaking in the spaces in between. You said some love becomes a kind of prayer, not answered but still whispered every day. And maybe that is why you're everywhere, in all the little things that never went away. The cup you light, the road beneath the hill, the scarf you wore, and how the room is colder still. December wrote your name across my heart in silver air and lonely midnight blue, and no matter how The pages trembling in my hands tonight. Or maybe that is only me. The world outside is buried deep in white, and all your words are falling back on me. We were warm once before the windows iced, before the mornings felt like questions, before goodbye had any price. You used to sleep against my chest like winter could not find our door. And I believed that kind of peace would last a little longer more. The room was small, the future even smaller then, but somehow love made enough of everything. We were warm once, and I still live inside that fire. Even now when all the world is white and every branch is wire, we were warm once. Tell me that was true. Tell me I did not imagine how alive I was with you. The soup would simmer in the dark, the radio would hum old songs. You'd walk in socks across the floor and laugh when I sang all the wrong words. How can 1,000 little things outlive the larger life they made? How can a heart stay full of light after the person leaves the flame? And all these years I have learned this much: cold does not begin in weather, it begins in missing touch. We were warm once, and I still live inside that fire. Even now when all the world is white and every branch is wire, we were warm once. Tell me that was true. Tell me I did not imagine how alive I was with you. If memory is cruel, it is also kind. It lets me feel you breathing in another place and time. And though I cannot keep you, I can keep the proof that once this fragile life of mine was bright enough for two. We were warm once, and that is why I survive. Because even in this winter, I know what it means to feel alive. And I still carry through all the cold the world can offer, the warmth I found in you. Before the windows iced, before goodbye grew teeth. We were warm once, and that warmth still lives in me. When the storm began to rise, and all the room became a harbor for your hands and tired eyes. Outside the alley turned to white, inside your shadow moved like flame. I thought that love could guard the night if I kept whispering your name. But wind is strong and candles small, and hearts don't always choose to stay through. You were a candle in the snow, a little fire in endless white, a reason I could still believe some warmth survives the night. And even now when winter comes and all the world moves slow, I close my eyes and see you still, a candle in the snow. The wax ran down like quiet tears, the glass reflected us as one. We did not know those tender years were already near being done. You rested softly on my shoulder and asked if people change with time. I told you no, not those who love, not knowing love can lose its mind. The flame leaned low, the cold pressed in, and something silent shifted deep within. You were a candle in the snow, a little fire in endless white, a reason I could still believe some warmth survives the night. And even now when winter comes and all the world moves slow, I close my eyes and see you still, a candle in the snow. If I had sheltered you better, would the fire have remained? If I had spoken more gently, would the storm have changed? Or was your light always a gift, too beautiful to own? A thing that warms a freezing room, then leaves it colder when it's gone. You were a candle in the snow, the kind that dark remembers long, the kind that leaves a trace of gold even after it is gone. And even now, through all these years, when windows blur and glow, I close my eyes and lose myself to that candle in the snow. The wick is ash, the storm is through, but winter still looks warm you. You held a white umbrella high while midnight dripped from every sign. The snow had turned to silver rain, and all the streets were glass and shine. I walked beside you half a step, afraid to brush against your hand, as if one touch might wake the truth that neither of us dared to stand. The city blurred in water and neon, but in that blur you felt more real than dawn. White umbrella, black night, you beside me in the storm. Everything was cold outside, but your shadow felt like home. If I had known that was the last time, I would have held that fragile light. White umbrella, black night, a love too late to be called mine. Cars moved like rivers down the road, their headlights spilling gold and blue. You laughed when wind attacked the edge and rain flew sideways over you. I wanted then to say your name the way a prayer says what it needs, but fear can dress itself as calm and ruin what the heart believes. The drops kept falling from the umbrella's rim, like all the words I should have offered them. White umbrella, black night, you beside me in the storm. Everything was cold outside, but your shadow felt like home. If I had known that was the last time, I would have held that fragile light. White umbrella, black night, a love too late to be called mine. Now every winter when it rains, I watch the sidewalks turn to glass and search the crowds for one bright shape I know too well will never pass. Still in my mind you walk beside me, still the umbrella blooms above. A little moon against the dark, a little proof of almost love. White umbrella, black night, still opening in my soul, still a moving little shelter from the years I can't control. If I had known you were already leaving, I would have said what I still hide. White umbrella, black night, my last warm place before goodbye. The rain kept falling, the city shined. You held the umbrella, I lost the time.
The first snow fell on the city tonight, soft as the words that you never could say. Street lights were glowing like candles in white, while all of the taxis kept fading away. I walked by the river with both hands in my coat, breathing out memories into the cold, thinking of all of the promises we wrote, thinking of all of the love we could not hold.
And every little flake felt like a name I used to know. Every step I take still leads me back into the snow.
If you can hear me through the winter sky, come back like the light in a darkened room. Come back like a song that refuses to die. Come back like spring after endless June.
I still keep your shadow beside my own, still leave half the bed untouched at night. In this cold, bright world, I am not at home since you became the snow and left my side.
Coffee shop window still fogs up the same. The chair by the corner is empty for two. Someone was laughing and calling your name, or maybe the winter was playing with truth.
I traced a small heart on the glass with my thumb, then wiped it away before anyone saw. How can a city be louder than drums and still leave a silence this deep in the heart?
And every passing face turns for a second into you. I search the falling haze for something I already knew. If you can hear me through the winter sky, come back like the light in a darkened room. Come back like a song that refuses to die. Come back like spring after endless June.
I still keep your shadow beside my own, still leave half the bed untouched at night. In this cold, bright world, I am not at home since you became the snow and left my side.
Maybe love was never meant to stay where hands can hold.
Maybe some hearts are heaven sent and only visit in the cold.
But if I dream and you appear, walking slow through
winter sky. Come back like the dawn on a sleepless street. Come back like the tears I no longer hide. Come back like your footsteps under me. I still wear your silence around my soul, like a scarf that time cannot untie. And even if forever has taken its toll, I will love you until the last snow dies. The first snow fell on the city tonight, and every white breath carried your goodbye. I looked at the sky till it blurred out of sight, and let the whole winter answer for why. River after midnight looks like broken glass and stars. The bridges hold their yellow light, like bandages on hidden scars. I came here when I missed you most, when every room felt much too small, when even breathing seemed to cost more than the strength I had at all. The water never asked why someone had to leave. It only takes the moon and teaches it to grieve. And river after midnight carries all my prayers away. Every wave repeats your name, then lets it slowly fade. If love can cross this freezing dark, if loss can learn to glow, then maybe somewhere in your heart a little part of me still flows. A couple laughed beneath one coat, a bicycle rolled through silver mist, and in the air I thought I caught the shape of every time we kissed. We promised on this riverside that even if the years ran fast, we'd stay like lights on either side.
distance takes the frame, and what was once forever can vanish into rain. And river after midnight carries all my prayers away. Every wave repeats your name, then lets it slowly fade. If love can cross this freezing dark, if loss can learn to glow, then maybe somewhere in your heart a little part of me still flows. I throw no stones tonight, I make no wish at all. I only stand and let the winter silence fall, because some truth arrived too late to save the dream, and some goodbyes are wide and cold and river deep. And river after midnight, hold the words I could not keep, hold the nights I called your name, too tired to even weep. If love can live in empty air, if memory can grow, then maybe somewhere in your heart a little part of me still flows. And river after midnight, black and silver, still and white, I leave my footsteps in the frost and keep your absence by my side.